Attack the enemy! Victory is ours!
Hello everybody, welcome back for another War Thunder sort of compilation video. This is 3 battles from the 22nd of May 2017 in my high-tier British tank lineup, where I actually took first place in all 3 of them. They weren't consecutive, but they were all from the 22nd of May, so originally I was just going to do the first battle, and then the second and the third happened, and I decided, okay, I'm just going to put them all together into one for the sake of a single edit session and a single upload. So, as we start out on one of my least favorite maps, 38th Parallel, though it went well enough in the end, I still don't like it. Heading for the B point, which is my usual starting point, because I hate C is just sniper's paradise, and I don't generally have too much fun over there. So, like to go to B, get the capture, and fight it out at the B point, and then work my way towards A, and then see what I can do after that. So earlier in the day, I'd run into that guy there that I'm talking about in chat, and all he was doing was driving all the way around to our spawn to shoot into our spawn. And hilariously enough, I think it was the battle right previous to this one. I think it was the battle right before this one, in fact. He went all the way around to our spawn, shot a teammate there and set him on fire. Our teammate was able to return fire and knock out his breach, and I was able to get back there and kill him, and he didn't get any kills, and it was the end of the battle, and that was it. He spent the whole battle driving all the way around to get there to damage a teammate and then die. So, very useful. Alright. So I really do enjoy driving the Conqueror. I'm very happy to have it. I've got more usable and enjoyable British high-tier tank vehicles right now than I've got slots for, and that's a terribly wonderful problem to have. So I got a pretty good shot on that Leo right through the things. This is one good thing about APDS, you can shoot through walls and fences and stuff. And he was not able to get away from me in time for me to put a pretty solid shot right through his ammo. A little bit of trouble getting the tank backwards into the B point to capture it, but thankfully I had enough time to get the darn thing moving and up over that hill and turn. And get in there for the capture. So, pretty good start to the battle. Kill and a capture. Reload the ammo real quick, and then we'll move on again. So I'm going to push up to the high ground here to make my way over to the A point, try and catch them from above if anybody's up near the front of B or on their way back down to B. And then move in from the higher territory up here into the A point if not. Eventually, once we make it up the hill. The Conqueror's not too bad. The engine's got pretty decent power. Nothing doing over at B, so we'll press on to A. Plus, we've got a B pretty well covered with the team there, so we'll expand our perimeter a little bit here and move in. Lo and behold, a Tiger 105 shows up, and I hit my least favorite spot on the front of a Tiger 2 turret. That little ring there that stops everything. But he wasn't sure where he took the hit from, and he gave me a side profile on his turret, which I will gladly take advantage of. I know he's not gonna... I'm not gonna be able to get another shot at him before he can back away, so a little machine gun fire to mark him again for the team, and then see what I can do. A fellow Conqueror comes up, so why not press in? Plus, I know where that Tiger 2 is, and he's He could easily destroy me if he hits my lower front plate, which he can actually easily do from where he's at, but that's really all that he can do to me. Now, luckily, again, caught this Leopard not looking at me, slightly unaware, and was able to get a shot into his ammo, and then survived a shot from somebody up on the hill to the left, and then get a pretty good sight picture on the Tiger II again, though I still have to reload. Managed to get a good shot on him through the splashing water and smoke and finish him off. Get into the capture point, fairly well hidden behind some rocks, and we'll take advantage of the chance to repair here as well as capture. There we go, we've started a ticket bleed on the other team. So I like this crossing right here because you can, it's not too steep where your whole front of your tank is too badly exposed as you come up over the hill here. And you've got a fairly good range of places to shoot at once you make it over the top of this, so this is a pretty good spot. I don't really like this map, but it does have some good shooting spots on it. This being one of them, not too bad. Somebody shot from a bit too far away and shot too low. Couldn't exactly tell where it came from besides the sound. And then there's another Leopard giving me the ammo rack again. And I'm not one to refuse that kind of a shot. And there, I finally could see where I was getting shot from, and it was a little too late, but at least I'd gotten 4 kills and 2 captures. So, with a slight ticket advantage and a ticket bleed going on, I decided to come back in some air support for the team, plus I needed to grind some better bombs for my Brigand. The 500s just don't exactly do it for me. So, on my way back into the battle, heading roughly for the Leopard that killed me to try and put a couple of 500s on him. The team starts capturing C, which makes me even happier about having brought in air support. And there's the Leopard in sight up in front of me, up halfway up the trail. Over to the right. There he is. So our M18 is about to drive right up to him. So I try to light him up, drop the bombs. I drop the bombs either just a little bit too far behind him, or he saw the bombs coming and he was able to drive forward. And of course I pulled up a little too late, but the bombs just didn't have any effect, didn't have any impact on them, so I'm not exactly sure what happened with them there. I noticed that the enemy team is taking the B point, so we're going to come back in and see what we can do about that. All hail the chieftain! So, as you saw, or if you didn't see, you should go watch my Chieftain Mark V, but as you saw from my Chieftain Mark V, I enjoyed the Chieftain Mark V quite a bit because it's got quite a bit of speed. Now this guy right here in this IS-6, for some reason, comes back away from the B point and heads back up towards our spawn. somewhat inexplicably. I'm not sure what he was going back for. It's not like he could go back and repair or get more ammo back there, so I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to do. But he left the B point alone. So we've got this battle fairly well under control, but it's still certainly undecided right about now, because if they take the B point here, we're going to start bleeding tickets, and we don't really have anybody near it. We don't have anybody near the A point to do anything about the A point either. We could lose the C point behind our two guys that are over there pressing up towards their spawn. We're not in a very secure position. It's actually pretty precarious. And when you lose your air support, that's even worse. So I get into B, solo, without the extremely helpful IS-6 that could have been there. You can hear somebody coming around behind me, and I'm looking for him, searching for him, but I didn't search quite well enough, of course. He sounds like he's up on the hills up above me. And I managed to get the capture, and then take a shot from behind that knocks out my commander and my breach, and there's the Leopard that I heard. So our IS-6 is still camping back there, not someplace where he can see to be, and could have easily either taken this Leopard out or helped cover me, but whatever. All I could do was line him up and hit him with machine guns to mark him as I get set on fire, and then set on fire, and then not set on fire a third time, as you'll see. And there it is. The Leopard gets robbed of the kill on me. Oh, okay, I guess I was set on fire a third time. The Leopard gets robbed of the kill by the Kugelblitz there. Again, IS-6 would have been very helpful there, but whatever. I don't know what he was doing. I was going to come back in the Conway because that was my newest crew at the time, and I was still trying to build up some points for my FV-438 intended crew, which is that Conway slot. But the Conway spaded, and I still had research to do on the FV-4005 modifications, so I changed back to the old Optimus Prime and head back towards B again. Team is taking out A here. Now there's a Kugelblitz out there somewhere. I can hear it. Searching for it. Searching for it. We've got an aircraft up. I'm trying to hopefully knock out this AAA for him. There, I've generally located the source. Can't quite tell where he is. Try to backtrack a little and put a 183mm kaboom near him, hoping to scare him or make him move or possibly hit him, although I knew I had about a 0% chance of actually hitting him. But hopefully enough to make him relocate and stop firing at our air support that was overhead. And then move on back in towards B, and then eventually towards A, just like at the beginning of the battle. Now there's our IS-6 has been knocked out over there trying to capture the A point. So I'm going to head in that way. We're taking C back. The Kugelblitz took out our Firebrand, unfortunately. I don't know that I saved him at all and delayed him from getting killed from shooting at the Kugelblitz. I rather doubt it, but I did what I could there from what I could see. And then they start taking the B point, and since I'm a lot closer to B and I know the B point pretty well, I swung back around and headed back over there. And what to my wondering eyes should appear but a great big fat target. I was reasonably confident that he was not accompanied on B, so go back in there to capture again, hoping that my loaders could hoist those gigantic mega shells back into the breach fast enough, just in case I was wrong. But I was at least accompanied this time, so got back into the B point, got set up where I had sort of some cover from this wall that I could fire over the top of. And get into position for my 4th capture of the battle. This time, at least, with some help. So we've got 2 out of 3 points now, and we're getting strafed by HO229, naturally. But the enemy team is down pretty low on tickets. We've got a very significant ticket lead, and we've now pretty much we're in a much more comfortable position and basically have this battle wrapped up. We've also got players near each one of the caps from our side, so that's also a much better situation tactically dispersed on the airfield, or on the battlefield rather. And yeah, sometimes you just get totally exploded from your ammo. But just enough time to spawn back in the Falcon, and their tickets are going to bleed out right about the time I finally get back in. So I do what I can to get some shots at the Horton, but the distance I was firing from and the maneuverability of the Horton made it a very difficult proposition. And then their tickets bled out and we won. So that's the first battle down. Finished swing fire, or got a bunch of research towards the swing fire rather, for finishing the brake system for the FE4005, so that was good. 5 kills, an assist, and 4 captures. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So for a second battle, we've got domination on White Rock Fortress. And I was driving the Conqueror here just because it's just got better acceleration initially than the Chieftain Mark III does. So it's a little faster to get going, and I was getting a bit frustrated with driving the Chieftain Mark III at that point because of the initial sluggishness to get it up to speed. So, starting with the Conqueror for a bit because it just feels snappier to me to get going. We've got nothing but Russians on the other team, so switch from APDS over to Hesh. Don't even bother with APDS unless you're going to do some really long-range shooting. Just go Hesh against the Russians if you've got it. APDS is good. 120 mil APDS is still very good, but if you've got Hesh and you're facing just the Soviet team, especially in high tiers, you might as well start with that. The big difference in APDS and Hesh is the drop in the trajectory of the shooting, so this poor guy, I didn't even have time to feel bad. He was there and I had to shoot him. Very unfortunate for him. Hey, it was a BT-5, not a BT-7, but whatever. Details, details. So as I exit the artillery strike here and search for the most likely place to see enemies between those 2 cuts up there and the far perimeter edges of the walls,
Attention to the designated grid square.
decided to take a ranging estimate here. I can see somebody firing. take a ranging estimate on the Object 906. He's about 250, so I can line up my Hesh, because there is a bit of drop at that kind of a distance. So hoping he'll come out at some point, and I can get a good enough lead shot on him to actually hit him with the Hesh from what doesn't look like is a very big distance, or, I mean, what looks like is a bigger distance than it really is. It's actually not that far. But it's far enough for the Hesh to drop. And then he gets annihilated. So, time to move on. And it was a darn good thing that that M551 had driven up behind me, because there was a Soviet moving down right where he would have seen me. But he got taken out by my squad mate up there, so no damage taken. The only damage I have right here is from a bit of artillery splash to my engine. Not too bad. Nothing that's really stopping the tank from moving. So we'll roll on up towards the B point, because we've got two guys up around the edge of A there. Pretty much should be able to cover the A point. And I'm going to try to help my random squad mate here, who just got set on fire. Although I couldn't tell exactly where it came from. But I can see a T-54 up there. I got a hit on him, but unfortunately, as it's Hesh, it did get eaten by his tracks. He did give me a much better shot after he moved, but with the reload time, there wasn't too much I can do except hope that I can get a shot off on him. And I did, thankfully, just in time to save my squad mate from getting hit one more time. That probably would have finished him. We both thankfully survived that IL-2 or IL-10's bomb strike. Probably an IL-10, judging by the size of the bombs. And I'm just barely able to get up here in time to somewhat repay the favor of him saving me by giving him a bit of repair assist. And we start taking some hits from the side here, from something that wasn't doing a whole lot of damage. Because it was a BT-7. Who should have used his speed a little bit earlier and gotten the heck out of Dodge, but at least he couldn't really hurt us. Now, if there were to be a drawback to the Conqueror, I would say it's probably that it only has two M1919 30 cal machine guns and nothing bigger. That's probably the worst thing I can say about it. It's other than that, it doesn't have any humongously bad weaknesses. It can certainly be killed, but waited for a good shot. I was hoping for the fuel tank shot in the front right there on the T-44, but he turned away from me, though that did give me a beautiful side shot on his turret. And I'm not one to refuse that sort of a gift either. If you can Hesh the side of a cramped Soviet turret, you're probably going to do well. Now I notice on the minimap that we've lost the A point. We've got the B point, and I'd rather go back and take the A point because we don't really have anyone there than press either B or C. So, about face, forward harch, put the pedal to the metal, driver. Back to A we go. And get set on fire by silent Yak-9 fire. I don't have FPE yet at this point. I have it now, but back on the I had been set on fire quite a bunch of times today on the 22nd of May, so I was not very happy. Plus, I'd been tired of just getting set on fire without there being any kind of impact noise or gunfire sound, or airplanes even, engine sound flying by. So, we're gonna burn out here because obviously I don't have FPE. but not too bad of a start. And just like last battle, I'm going to come back in the Brigand, because I am, again, trying to get better bombs for it. I had a bit more success in the Brigand in this battle than I did in Battle 1, so stick with me for a moment. I think you'll enjoy this one. It'll take a moment to get there, but it's worth it. Now that is definitely not a MiG-9. Or, rather, a Yak-9. That was a MiG-9 that just went breezing by and damaged me. But I'm closing in behind this IL-28. Trying to get as many hits into him as I possibly can, and somehow I just straight up killed him. I don't know exactly what I did, but I got him. Right as the MiG-9 finished me off, but taking out an IL-28 with a Brigand, I'm not going to complain about that. Now, knowing that there is a MiG-9 and also a Yak-9 tee-up, I decided to come back in the Falcon, as we were pretty good on points, and we really, at this point, needed air defense more than we needed ground troops. And just like that, the MiG-9 flies overhead where I can see him. I gave him enough of a send-off to let him know that he wasn't really welcome. But he couldn't take the hint, and he came back into the party, which means only one thing. I'll have to reinforce our position that he wasn't exactly welcome. Took a moment to draw a lead on the MiG-9, but I'm pretty sure at least some of those shots went past him. The Yak-9T, of course, comes back to where I'm shooting at him and sets me on fire, but I was able to survive it, and then track back around on him. Some people just can't take a hint. You just have to hit them over the head with it, and then they finally get it. So, while I'm repairing my engine, with my faithful LVT escort, the tickets are just about going to bleed off, and that's going to be the end of the action for battle number 2. But again, not too bad. Somehow, that didn't end up being a kill. They finally make it onto sea at the end, but it's going to be a little bit too, just a bit too little, just a bit too late. And we're going to move in, the LVT and myself move in to hold them off the A point, because at this point all we need to do is just stop them from decapping it and we're going to win. Even if I don't actually stop anything, they would have to kill both of us to be able to take the point, and they're not going to have enough time even if they arrive, which they don't. So that'll be that. Battle number 2, another success in the books, and another first place. There we go. 2 air targets destroyed this time. Not too bad. So there we have it. 3 tanks killed, 2 airplanes killed, 1 capture, and a first place again. Not too bad on the research front either. So for battle number 3, I actually did spawn back in the Chieftain because Normandy's not too bad. It's another domination map. And it ended up being really good that I spawned in the Chieftain. If you stuck with me until the 3rd battle, congratulations, because this is the best battle out of the 3. get ready for some chieftain work, because it was good. So on Normandy, I like to go down this road or through the path to the right there, past the other side of the houses, and then hook a left and head up into the road up to A in the middle of the town. There's a nice little depression, like a shell crater, in the middle of the right and this side of the A point that you can drive right up into, and capped with kind of a hull down configuration that's pretty good. Now, of course, if the rest of your team beats you to A, it doesn't matter, but that's where I'm heading anyway. And sometimes, even though they're on the other team, you gotta give the other guys some tech support. At least trying to help them figure out what's going on with the graphics. So just above where my tank gun is pointing right now, just short of that wrecked Sherman there to the left of where I'm heading, is the shell crater that I was talking about. So I drove past it this time, but it's just behind me to my left. Just off camera right there. That's the one I'm talking about. It's a good spot to sit if you're trying to capture this point. Now this poor Conqueror up here is just getting ravaged from the right side. Trying to get to him, get to a position where I can help him, but the best bet, honestly, is just continue forward here, turn a left, and come in behind him. Come in behind all the enemies that were lighting him up there, and hopefully at least get revenge, if not save him. Because I'm not sure he could be saved. He was taking so many hits. And sure enough, enemies spotted. Meant to just deal with his breach there, but instead completely destroyed him in one shot on the mouse. Somebody else knocks out the Ostwind, and then I'm able to get a good blast into this annoying cancer tank. I do actually like my Rakuten Jagdpanzer 2s, but they're still annoying to fight against. So there's a couple kills to go along with the capture. That's 2 so far. And the Conqueror actually survived. But there's a Quellian coming right up, completely oblivious to at least 3 of us right here. So I pull off an assist from the T-54, who was even closer to the Quellian than I was. And then we've got enemies coming out of their spawn, not in their spawn, but driving out of it. And it's a lucky driver there who gets over the hill before myself or this Conqueror can get a good shot at him. So while I'm trying not to shoot into their spawn, I can't really help it if somebody shoots out of their spawn at our guys. So, bye-bye, other Quellian. Now I am trying to press to the B point here. That is my objective in my actual attempt at gameplay, but I get shot at by another SBAA out of their spawn, which is not surprising. But again, I'm not looking to kill you in your spawn, but if you shoot at me, I'm certainly going to shoot back. And, of course, if I encounter a random leopard sitting up on the seawall, I'm going to shoot him, too. Sometimes the enemies just don't see you coming. And I just couldn't get reloaded fast enough to kill that Sturmpanzer II, which I'm not even mad because it was hilarious. And then, just like that, the killing wasn't even over. 6 kills for the Chieftain. Not too bad of a start. And an assist. Because I at least hit the Sturmpanzer with my machine guns. So 6 kills, 3 assists, and a capture with the Chieftain Mark III. That's a pretty good battle all by itself, and I wasn't even finished yet. So not too bad at all. Thankfully, the last Leopard that I set on fire didn't have FBE. So I ended up being pretty happy that I had used the Chieftain there. The Conqueror probably would have been alright as well, but the Chieftain's got the slightest edge in reload speed. Now we've got a guy contesting C with us. A ME-262 just went by. And we've got a couple SPA in our team that aren't necessarily reliably looking upwards. So a little reminder never hurts, just to let guys know, hey, there are enemy planes up. I know you're obviously concerned with the ground, but as long as you're not self-defending against a ground vehicle, you should be hopefully focusing on the air. And there we go, our team is taking B and our team is taking C. Good work, boys. Much more comfortable position now as far as the ticket lead. Also, there's only 3 of them left and there's quite a few more of us, so the battle's pretty well in hand at this point. Now, I had spotted an enemy here on the minimap and was trying to do everything I could to warn the team that he was there because I wasn't going to get there fast enough to stop him. Maximum power down the hill on the hard paved road and just going as fast as we can get in the 4005. And unfortunately, he took out our M47. That was the RU-251 that I'd seen coming out of their spawn earlier, when the Conqueror and I were heading down there and neither one of us could get a shot on him. However, he at least didn't know that I was here, and I actually had enough tickets to get to him. Enough ticket bleed left from their team, I mean. And there's kill number 7 for the battle. Not much question about that one. Not too much is going to survive a 183mm Hesh to the back of the turret. Now, I know there's a Rocket Hot around somewhere still because he'd killed somebody else on the team. I wasn't exactly sure where he was, but the team seemed to know. And sadly, before the tickets could bleed out, I got my ammo detonated. Pretty good shooting by the 410 there. Of course, it was the guy that I had killed in the RU-251, so he certainly knew where I was. So, came back in the Conqueror, heading back towards the end of the battle, which I was pretty sure there wasn't going to be too much going on. So, hoping against hope that some sort of airplane would come in and maybe I could get a blast at him with the 120mm anti-aircraft gun. But it was not to be. The tickets are going to bleed out. That'll be the end of the action. So if you stuck with me this long, thank you. I appreciate it. Just hang out for another minute or so. We'll get to the final results screen here for this battle, and that'll be the end of the video. Or you guys can skip ahead if you want. I won't be mad. And there was a, no, actually I don't remember if there was server maintenance. Oh, well, there was server maintenance, but I don't remember what it was for. And there we go, they finally lost all their planes. So there we go. The third battle with a first place, and like I said, the best for last. 7 kills, 3 assists, and a capture, and another first place. With only 2 deaths. Not too bad at all. Another pretty good bit of research done too. There's all the awards. And some more awards. And that'll do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you stuck it all the way through to the end, let me know in the comments. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping by and checking this video out. I hope you guys liked it.